This is former Hoosier basketball player Nick Zeisloff. Keep up with the Hoosiers on Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle.
Today's guest is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville with hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer. Pizza, burgers, beer. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville.
You know him, you love him. Our very own Todd Leary joined us now. Todd, how are you, brother?
That is not very good hype music. Like that's not going to get anybody excited to listen to me talk.
They know you're coming. They're already excited.
I bring the excitement. All right, that's cool.
I can't be responsible for pumping them up anymore, man. I don't know what happened from there.
Yep.
How's your week going?
What's that?
How's your week gone?
No, it's good. It's going good. I am actually on my way out to Victoria National for the big golf tournament this weekend, and so I couldn't be a whole lot happier.
Yeah, we were fortunate to run into Todd the other night down at Evansville. He was kind enough to stop by, and when Archie was down there, and you were talking about that. So is that a senior store? Who's playing this weekend?
No, it's the Corn Ferry Tour, which used to be the Web.com Tour. They just changed names about a couple of months ago, but it's the tour finals for it's like just the league underneath the PGA Tour. But a lot of PGA Tour guys actually play in it that didn't have great seasons and try to get their PGA Tour card and some of that stuff. So this is a really, really big deal for golf nerds like myself.
And that course there in Evansville, Victoria National, that is a spectacular piece of property, isn't it?
Yeah, it's legit. It is. It's beautiful for one, but playing the course is as challenging as you're going to get. It's, I've played about every tough course in the state of Indiana, and I don't know that you could find one tougher than Victoria National. So it is as tough as it gets. It's fun. It's a beautiful place, and we are going to have some great weather all weekend. So I'm pretty much on vacation is how I'm looking at it.
Look at you go. Yeah, they've got a course up in Bloomington that in the spring we'll have to check out because it's apparently going to be extraordinarily tough. The new IU golf course, the Fowl Family golf course there. So looking forward to that. But, yeah, that sounds like a great time there in Evansville. So if you're in the area down there this weekend, you can go out and you can chase the stars. You can see if you can find Todd Leary.
You can come on. I live in the neighborhood, so you can just stop by my house. We can just hang out all weekend. It'd be great.
I don't think I'd say that. I don't think I'd have said that on.
I'm good with it.
Hey, we got a chance that Archie was down in Evansville Tuesday. One of his first public appearance in Evansville, but I tell you, man, he stood in there. That's the longest I've seen him speak, and it was probably the most intimate setting. And just from being around him enough, I'd say that Archie would rather us all line up and kick him in the jejunum than do public speaking. But he managed. He got through it, man.
Yeah, he did. And the crazy, he didn't just get through it. I mean, he did a great job. He was very articulate, and not that he ever wasn't, but man, I'll tell you what. I hope this doesn't come across as any type of insult, but if the players at IU improve as players as much as Archie has improved as a public speaker, we will have a team that goes to the Final Four on a regular basis because he has – you can tell it's something he does. It's not – I don't say he hates it, but it's not something that he loves to do. And here's what I love about that is if you gave him the choice of going and speaking – in front of a bunch of people or watching film and coaching his basketball team, 100% of the time he is going to tell you he would rather be coaching his basketball team and watching film and preparing and all that. He is a basketball guy 100% from beginning to end. There isn't 1 ounce of him that's not basketball. And that's what I want my basketball coach to be for the team I root for. So I love that. I love that aspect of him, but I do have to say he did an outstanding job, and he answered all the questions, and he was very honest about things. And I think he has a good perspective of what to expect this season coming up. And, and part of that is not knowing what to expect, because I think he told us all that, there's a lot of guys that are going to have to do different things and improve on their roles and increase their roles. And so you never know what you're going to get till the season actually gets underway.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great thing put together by Pat and Ben Shoulders down there at Harrison High School. So thanks to those guys. But they were the first. That's the first time Archie's been down there. As a former player, and I know it didn't work this way for you, but when that coach, the IU coach, and it doesn't really matter who it is, to be honest with you. Well, of course, if it was Bob Knight, it's different. But anyway, when that IU coach comes to your town, it's a deal. It's an event, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's how you build up, stronger and bigger and better alumni base groups and fundraisers and golf outings and all those kinds of things. And those are the things that really help an area out like that. And, I know it doesn't hurt that there's some recruits down here that are important to the IU future, hopefully. And so that doesn't hurt, but I definitely think, he makes that trip. The IU coach makes that annual trip every year down to the New Albany area. And I have a feeling that probably Fort Wayne and Merrillville and Evansville and that New Albany will be a stop that the IU coach continues to make year after year, because it's starting to pay dividends. And you can tell by how many Indiana recruits he's landed the last couple of years.
Absolutely. Talk about that Evansville area. And I think they let one get away. Alex Hemingway. He ended up going to Clemson. That kid can shoot, man. I don't know how he got away from Indiana, but he sure did. But you can't get them all, of course. But he's one I think slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, and that's probably I know nothing about the history of that recruiting, so I'm not giving any insight on anything. I'm just saying. When Archie comes in, this is year 3, right? This is year 3 coming up. So, you're not going to get everybody when he comes in right away. It's hard to touch every kid in the state, especially when other schools have been recruiting, a particular kid for several years. And Archie comes into a new school, and you do your best to reach out to all the talent, but you just never know. You just never know what. How someone has landed or recruited another player and how another school has fit in with them, or he could have a tie to that university somehow. There's so many factors that go into it. You never know. But, like I tell you, repeat myself every week to nauseam, I'm sure, but I know we're done a great job of getting those, those high star athletes and recruits. Now I want to sprinkle in a couple of the Archie Millers. I want to sprinkle in a couple of the guys who people aren't that excited about, don't know a whole lot about. And then after they've been there for a little bit of time, they're super excited that they're a part of the Indiana group, because they're that glue guy, and they're the guy that makes things come together and makes everybody play well together. And I think it's kind of how Coach Miller talked about Joey Brunk and what a big part he's going to be on the floor, but most importantly, probably how important he's going to be. Kind of guy I want Indiana to be getting the next one of those guys right now.
Absolutely, and we can't talk about that without mentioning the fact that Christian Lander, of course, happens to be from Evansville Wright's product down there, but he's got 2 more years. It's so hard to go on and on about him, because he's got 2 more years of high school left, unbelievably. But he's that damn good. He's the top-rated recruit in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go after those guys. You've got to, I know he alluded to it in the speech the other day at Harrison High School that, those guys you've got to recruit early on and in different ways. He was talking about FaceTiming recruits and different stuff that's so much different than the way it was a long time ago. And so there's a lot that goes into it. I know that obviously they are that he's high on Indiana's radar, and it is recruiting is a difficult process, because we look at it like, he's 2 years away, so is it really that important? But the coaching staff at IU can't look at it that way. Like they're giving 8th graders a ton of attention right now. So just imagine how difficult that is to try to reach out to that many different kids. I mean, you got to put the feelers out on 20, 25 kids in every class right now, just to make sure that you land 2 or 3 of them. I mean, that's a difficult thing to be a part of, and it's very time consuming, and it takes a lot of effort. So that's what the assistant coaches and the player personnel guys and everybody else can contribute and really keep on top of all that stuff.
Yeah, Tim texted into the show reminds us that Archie had to make some ground up because the previous administration, Tom Crean, he got away from recruiting the Indiana kids, mainly because I think Indiana got away from him. But nonetheless, he had to reestablish those relationships. Unbelievably, that would ever need to happen, but it did, and he's done a good job of that. I mean, obviously, he's getting these Indiana kids now, and
yep.
But, so I just thought of if I could do a comedy skit, I just thought of the greatest comedy skit ever. I would do a comedy skit on Bob Knight trying to
FaceTime somebody,
to FaceTime Todd Leary back in the day.
Yeah.
I would just all you'd have to do is let the camera run in his office, and son of a God.
Can you imagine the amount of broken phones would be involved in that process? That would be,
my God,
it would be entertaining. That's
fabulous.
For sure.
It would be fabulous, but yeah. So now, have you played that Victoria National course down there?
I have. Years ago, I played it many, many times, and then I was fortunate enough here. I was invited by a guy here locally, Tom Bennett, invited me out there to play. So I should call him Tim. His name's really Tom, but I accidentally call him Tim every time. So, but he was very fortunate. I was fortunate to have him invite me out there and play, and my buddies Matt Taylor and all of them, we got to go at Calvert. He's one of Calvert's buddies. We all went out there and played a couple of weeks ago. And so, yes, I have played it. It's so beautiful and I love it so much. I'm plugging as much as I can to get somebody else to invite me out there. Cause
obviously Tim's not going to do it because you don't call him by his right damn name.
I know. Trust me. He reminds me every time. Trust me. That's all right. He calls me Scott now just because I call him the wrong name every time.
Yeah, just start calling him Robert next time.
I call him Tim. He calls me Scott. So we're even.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. So are you going to be out there all weekend, every day, going out there every day?
I am such a nerd when it comes to golf that I actually was even out there yesterday and the day before just watching them on the practice range. Like I love watching. I feel like I can learn stuff off of watching them. Kind of taught myself how to play tennis and different things just by watching people play and that stuff. So I am a nerd and love every aspect of that. I love watching them tinker around with different clubs and stuff. So I've already been out there almost every day. And, as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm getting ready to walk in the gate here. So, yes, I will be out there all weekend. It ends on Monday, and I will probably be the last guy walking out of the gate on Monday night.
You help them mow the greens?
I would if they would let me. that takes actual skill, and I don't think that. I mean, I barely mow my yard very well. My neighbors are complaining about that, so I don't think they're going to let me anywhere near the greens.
That's probably a wise move. Indiana football gets started tomorrow, but obviously that's up in Indianapolis. Will you with having kids at IU? Will you make it up to any of the football games?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll make it to a good portion of them now that. A couple of kids down there, and I've been back to a game. It seems like every year for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So I am really looking forward to making it. I think they're going to make some strides this year. So I'm looking forward to them improving and coming down to at least 4 or 5 games.
Absolutely. And what was I getting ready to say? Oh man, I love my mind just loses exactly what I was getting ready to say, but it was something good. But asking me, you guys doing the post-game show? You're doing the post-game show? Yes, we'll be doing the post-game show, man. So you're a popular guy. Yes. You're a popular, and not only that, it warmed the cockles of my heart Tuesday down in Evansville when a fan came up and called you the Todd Father.
The Todd Father, I know it. It's catching on.
I'm telling you, man, there's something to it. Even Steve Risley. I ended up having Steve Risley on the show earlier today, which I didn't plan on it. I mean, I talk to Steve all the time, but I didn't plan on it. But he's always listening, and he was texting me during the show, and all he kept saying is, I just can't wait to hear the Todd Father. I want to hear the Todd Father. I'm like, I told my producer, said, call him up, get him on the air right now. But the Riz can talk, man. The Riz can talk.
He likes to hear himself talk. You know what though? He gives such a great perspective on things. He was a part of, the hottest part of the era, right after the 76 team leading into that 81 team. So he was he was a big part, and I love hearing some of his stories and the things he says. He gives a kind of a truer. He doesn't sugarcoat a whole lot. He gives a true perspective of things. So I enjoy listening.
Absolutely. To him. And did you know? I know you were a great athlete in high school as well, but he was an All-American quarterback with an offer to Notre Dame.
I did not know that.
Probably kind of a unique deal. I mean, I probably knew it and forgot it, but it shouldn't be forgotten. That's just pretty spectacular, man.
That's pretty incredible. That's incredible.
All-American quarterback with an offer to Notre Dame that he has to turn down for Bob Knight.
That's pretty incredible.
But, well, brother, I appreciate you as always. I hope you have a great time out on the links at Victoria National in Evansville and lots of fun, and hope you don't get hit by an errant shot.
Oh, I'd take one for the team.
The Todd father, Todd Leary, our good friend, man. Let's let him go and head on out to the links, brother. Have a great weekend,
boss.
Todd.
We'll see you next week. Talk to you next week.
You betcha. Todd Leary, the Todd father, joining us as he does each and every Friday right here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We got a great bunch of guests that come on each week and couldn't be happier. Don Fisher on Monday, before I forget, it's a holiday. I never take off. We never not do the show, but we're not going to be on. Well, we will be on Monday. It's going to be a best of. Jake's going to put together some of the best interviews here of late, which there have been tons. But then on Tuesday, Don Fisher will join us on Tuesday as opposed to Monday. And we'll be talking about that big IU win over Ball State and how everybody's talking about this offense, I'm assuming, is what we'll be talking about because it could be good. I'll actually be on live Monday, but the interviews will be a remix. But it's all good stuff, so you're going to love it anyway. But so we got that going for us. Volleyball starts today. They've got a match at 12:30. Head on out to Wilkinson Hall if you're in the Bloomington area. They also play tonight at 8 o'clock. They've got 4 teams coming. You got Florida International, which they play today at 12:30. You've got We Are Marshall at 8 o'clock tonight. And then they will take on Santa Clara and possibly another team tomorrow, a different team. I can't remember. Men's soccer also underway tonight at Armstrong Stadium. Head out there. They've got the Adidas IU Credit Union Cup, Pittsburgh, UCLA, Northwestern's in town. So a great mix there. And then, of course, tomorrow it all kicks off at noon. Lucas Oil Stadium, Indiana football kicks off the season against the Ball State Cardinals. Michael Penix and company leading into the season to see what we can get going and looking forward to that. We'll have all that for you next week. So thanks a lot for joining us this week. Thanks a lot to all of our guests today. Thanks to Tom Brew, Todd Leary, Steve Risley, and Jeff Oliphant. For Jake, this is Jim Coyle, and I will see you on the radio.